Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thank you for joining me today. It's always lovely to have your company. So grab that brew. We're just going to have a quick catch up today. And really it's in answer to a question. So I've been chatting with one of our lovely friends, Vi Wilkinson. Now I hope that's how you pronounce your name, Vi. If it's V, I'm really sorry. But you know what I'm like. Shady lady will always be shady lady and you'll be Vi in my head. So and she got in touch and asked about a card I'd done, and it was using the feather stamp as a tree. And I do love it when you get in touch, and it may take me a while sometimes to reply, but I will always reply where I can. Now, what it is quite a few years ago, I got my feather stamp, and this is a beautiful feather stamp from Lavinia. And for me, I just saw it as a tree. And that's the way my head works. It does really weird things. I mean, it is the most gorgeous feather. But as I say, for me, I saw it as a tree. And the beauty of using it this way is I'm not changing, although I'm changing it from a feather into a tree, I'm not actually changing that beautiful artwork that Tracy has very carefully drawn. I'm using what she's drawn. I'm just interpreting it differently. And you can look over my YouTubes, and I have done quite a few YouTubes with this, but I've introduced there's one with the foxes on, there's one with Pippin on. Obviously Pippin gets on everything, doesn't he? But really it was just this simple Christmas card, which is great for batch card making. So if you've had enough of Christmas and you're not interested, maybe just grab yourself that brew and eat your cheeky snack and ignore me for a while. But really, it was the measurements that Vi was interested in. So what I've done is, the original card I did was on a slimline card, and that's purely because a DL, a double length card, for me, I find them very elegant, and I just find them lovely for Christmas cards. And for me, they stand out on, when you see a mantelpiece full of, if we have mantelpieces now, full of Christmas cards, I think this shape is just beautiful. And my topper, I cut purely to fit my card. So if I bring a plain card in, look, and I don't want to add any mats and layers. It's Christmas. I'm thinking about batch card making. So I cut it to size. And for me, I get 3 out of an A4 piece of card. Now, so that measures in centimetres. For those that like centimetres, it's 9 centimetres by 20. For those of us that like inches, it's 3.5 inches this way, but this way it's 7.8 inches, I'm afraid, to be precise. So that's 7.8. And that's just the size I'm going off. What it does mean is that when you actually cut 3 from your A4 piece of card, which I do, you get a little strip of card left. And this is perfect for stamping your sentiments on, ready for when you need them. I always like some spare sentiments. And what I wanted to do today was show you how you can change this up. So what I'll do is I'll demo this very quick, lovely batch card making design. But I also want to show you, if I just bring it down a little, that you can also, just by changing the colour, look, we've got a lovely design in pink. And again, I've left this waiting for its sentiment. But also, if you want to take it a little bit further, I have created one, if I open that up for you, just to show you if you wanted to spend a little bit more time with it, you could add a little bit of background stamping, and I've brought the moon mask in. So really it's a starting point to see where you want to take it. So we'll pop those to one side, and I'll work with the blue today. But as I say, I'm thinking pink. You could do some in purple. And again, for batch card making, if you're somebody who gets bored, when you're doing the same thing again and again, I would suggest maybe making 3 or 4 blue, change it up, 3 or 4 pink, maybe 3 or 4 purple, green. I mean, let's face it, we've got such fantastic colours of ink. Let's use them. So we'll start off. Now, I'm going to do my edging first. Now, it's probably not that noticeable, but all these, look, I've edged with my Sharpie. I like to do this. It is a very old technique, but not many people have been doing it recently, so I've sort of been trying to bring it back, and it's lovely because everybody is sort of starting to use it again. Now, because it's Christmas, I'm going for my gold. And again, I'm doing this first just so that in my head I know if I was to do it after my stamping, I think you've got more confidence. I know I'm not going to ruin my stamping. And I'm going to hold the card down. And even though I haven't got anything on the card yet, I just want to use my my kitchen roll. You could use copy paper, just because I don't want to put any finger marks. And you know we try and get into good practices to keep our cards nice and clean. So what I'll do, we'll go for 2. And again, hold it down. And again, for me, batch card making, I would just sit, cut all your pieces of card to size and just edge them all. And also, I think if you're a bit nervous of doing this, by the time you've done 2 or 3, you'll be thinking, why did I get nervous? But definitely look out for these coloured Sharpies. They're so good. But you might have metallic pro markers, something like that you could use. Now, I'll keep this here, but let's see if I've got a cleaner bit. There we go. And what we'll do, we'll start off with stamping our beautiful feather. And because we're going for the blue tones, been doing a lot of blue recently. Twilight, love this colour. But it was nice looking for a pink actually. And just in case you want to know, let me have a look. The pink, it was called Charming Pink. And that's a colour I haven't used much, so it was nice to actually get that out and use it. I was telling you the other day that whenever I put an order in with Tracy, I just order a colour, a Versafine Clair that I haven't got. Just ordered a gorgeous orangey colour. Not used it yet. I'm on the lookout for my project to use that. Now again, I'm stamping sideways just because for me it's just easy. I prefer it this way. And I'm sort of going in the middle. I want to leave room for my sentiments here. And again, I've got my new Lavinia acrylic block. And there we go. Beautiful. So we'll do the second one. So batch card making, again, I would just sit and stamp 3 or 4 in one go. I mean, one year, I actually made 60 of these for my husband's business for his Christmas cards. And so I can guarantee you it is a lovely design for batch card making. And I have to say we did get lovely comments about them. And I often find as well, I don't know about you, that my stamps, once they've inked a few times, they almost behave better. So for me, batch card making, I find I get much better results. It's almost like the stamp gets told what it's going to do. Now, you know me, I'm just cleaning my stamp with a damp cloth and my Inky Binky. Especially this one, I just find it's got so much detail and I use it so much that for me, I just like to clean it after I've used it. Now again, we've used Versafine Clair. We need to get into that habit of just giving it a good blot. And then we know we won't smudge it. And the colour I'm going to use to team it up with is the Prize Ribbon. And I'm going to use my stencil brush. But any blue, whatever blue you fancy using, I'm sure you've got various ink pads. And we're going to come in with the landscape mask. And again, we're using the flatter one, number 1 in my head. And we're just going to, let's take the lid off. And I'm just going to pop some. Now, a few of you have asked me about my craft mat I use. I bought it years ago and it's just called a non-stick craft mat. And I just find for me, I've used glass mats, I've used different mats, but this is the one for me that I find I can literally throw everything at it. And it's so easy for me to put my ink on it, my glue, and everything just seems to wipe up from it. It's also heat resistant. They are available, but you would just have to Google it. I couldn't even tell you where I got it from. It was that long ago. So all I'm going to do is just ground my feather. And again, always onto your mask, always important. And we'll just add a little bit of grounding, not a lot. But I want more under where the feather is. I just think that'll look better. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And again, batch card making. And the beauty of this is now I've got ink on here, so I can use that ink. I don't have to clean it off. I'm actually using it on my next design. And I would carry on and do that, as I say, on as many as you need. Next bit, now you could leave it like that if you wanted, but I think it looks nice just with some edging. Same thing, ink on the mat, and I always start on the corners, just because I always like my corners a deeper colour. So I would do the corner along the bottom, and then ink up for the next corner. If I want a bit more ink, always on the corner, but then I'm going to come up the side here, but I'm not going to re-ink my brush because I don't want it dark up this side. So re-ink on my corner, and then along the top. And again, you just get into such a routine of doing this. And what you're doing is, if you look, not only are you inking around the edge to frame your design, you're actually almost, I try and copy that shape. So it almost makes it look like it's got an aura around it. And I just think that adds a bit extra to it. And we've got a little bit of white space here for the sentiment. So we'll on with the next one. Again, just to show you how you can batch card make. And again, I don't need to clean this ink here. I can pick that up and use it. And anybody who's scared of doing this, once you've, as I say, make 2 or 3, and you'll suddenly find you get in that routine, and before you know it, they always say, don't they, practice makes perfect. Again, inking on the corners, and just follow that shape of the feather. And then down this side, not going to re-ink. If I need any more, pick a little bit off the mat, not from the ink pad. There we go. And so literally I would carry on and carry on. Now we don't want to waste this ink. Now at this point I have to say, I treated myself to the new Lavinia brushes, and oh, they are beautiful. So with this one, which is quite a fine one, really beautiful. And again, a little tip, always twist your brush and it'll just keep the point, nice points. So what I'm going to do is just quickly paint. Now again, this you can paint as little or as much as you want. I'm not going to paint all the detail. I'll just paint a few of them, just because of, you don't want to watch me paint them all, do you? But again, you can decide whether you want to paint a few. And I'm just alternating, coming down. So you can decide how much or how little. So I think this one I alternated. But this one, if we look, if I hold it a bit closer, can you see I actually painted all. So again, it depends, A, on the look you're after, but B, to be honest, how much time you've got and how you feel. It might be you actually want to sit and have one night just painting them. And again, that's totally fine. You might want to use pencil to colour them. I just like to use the ink up that's on my mat. And for me, I just find painting them, for me, is a lovely thing to do, but quite quick and relaxing. I have to be careful to be mindful that I'm actually chatting to you, because I'm liable to just keep painting and go off in my own little world. But you'd be glad to know Eric's not in here today. He's in his bed at the minute, so at least we won't have any snoring. Now this one, I'm just going to pick some of that ink up with my fan brush, which is in water, and I'm going to add some splats. And again, if I was adding that, I would add that right across on all of them. And we'll just clean that up. Again, batch card making, you wouldn't need to, because you would use it to just add your splats. So what we'll do with this one is just to show you, we've got a set of stamps which I've carefully put to one side, and this is the snowflake set. And I was thinking, what a lovely star. Instead of a star for the top, let's have a snowflake. And again, you can use your acetate look to decide which one you want at the top. So I'll just grab my ink pad, and I think we'll do it in blue. Again, just to match. And these are just different ways that you can mix it up a little. So let's pop that there. Oh, see, that hasn't quite stamped. Let's see if we can we go back in? There we go. That was a stroke of luck, wasn't it? So look out for that snowflake set. If I take it off, look, you get beautiful cluster and 2 individual. Again, especially at Christmas. Now, you could, if you wanted, stamp some second generation round the edge. Like I say, this is just a starting point. There are so many different ways you can take this. This one, I'm going to add a little bit of glitter. So again, I'm just going to use some stickles, and I'll pop it on my mat. And just with my old Wink of Stella, which is now my glitter pen, just going to dab it on. I don't want too much glitter, and I don't want anything that's going to rub off, and I just want a little bit of glitter, sort of adult glitter, not too much. And we'll have a little bit on the snow there. There we go. So just wipe that. Again, then I don't put my fingers in that. And basically, as I say, that's the basis of your card. Now, if I bring the finished one in, just to show you. So this one, I've added a bow. And again, for batch card making, I bought a pack of blue bows so that I've got the colour to go on all of them. I managed to find in my stash a pink bow for this one, but also gems. If you want to add some gems, it all depends if you're posting it, and you've got to think about that. You might need to put a little protective layer of bubble wrap. So again, these are the things to think of. I've also added some gel pen on this. But really, the beauty of this is you can take it as far as you want. And I'm hoping you do. I'm hoping you make some gorgeous designs and tag me in. Don't forget your liquid pearls. Your liquid pearls would look lovely. Again, depending on what sort of look you're after. But I think we've got lots of things there to give you an idea of where you can take this. If I just pull them down a little. We need my pink one in, don't we? Maybe we'll just move that tree we've done and we'll pop the pink one in. Oh, it's a bit outnumbered with the blue. So I'm thinking, as I say, lots of different colour combinations. So I'm hoping that's answered your questions. I will put the details in the description. Now I've worked out how to do that. A bit slow, I'm afraid. So if you're worried about your sizes, that's the sizes. But again, you could alter this. You could decide on a different size card. You know, as I say, I have done some, making a larger version, maybe pipping here, maybe a little bit of stencil work in the background. Again, it depends what look you're after, but it really is such a versatile idea for a Christmas card that you could tailor it for who you were sending it to. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for all your lovely comments and for your questions. And Vi, thank you for actually asking me to do this little YouTube. I'm hoping you've enjoyed it, and I'm hoping it's answered your questions. If there's anything else you want to know, you just send me a message. And don't forget, if you want some snow, get that Posca pen going. Again, I've purposely avoided snow. I'm thinking of our friends down under that don't have snow at Christmas. So not every card has snow on, but you can certainly add some snow to these if you wish. Right, lovely to spend time with you. As always, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a good week. Hope you have a lovely weekend. Pop back soon. Much love and hugs from me. Bye for now.